Free Read Book Podcast. Today we have Kevin Brockmeyer. He's a renowned author, and today we're going to be interviewing him on his book, The Illumination. Hello, everyone. Here I have the author Kevin Brockmeyer with us on air to answer a few questions on his novel titled The Illumination. So first off, Kevin, your book is about a phenomenon that took place called the Illumination. Could you give us a bit of background information on what exactly the Illumination is?
The Illumination is a mysterious event that took place and immediately made all human pain visible. Now, across the world, sources of pain shimmer, glow, and expend light. If you can picture it, every scrape, cut, or burn would be exposed by illuminating out of every human's body. It has essentially depleted the humanistic nature to hide and conceal our pain from others. Now, everyone's pain is visible and observable across the world. Illness and injury is able to be diagnosed just by looking at wounds or parts of the body, because the illumination allows pain to express itself without being covered or hidden by our skin or bandage.
What is the essential meaning behind the question on the back of the book? What if our pain was the most beautiful thing about us? How does this question help give readers a good insight to the plot of your novel?
Well, obviously, the question is referring to the illumination and how pain essentially glows, but we've already been over that. It is intended to raise an opposing opinion to modern culture. Often, people are viewed as weak when they are in pain, and pain is a topic no one really wants to talk about. It proposes the idea that pain is beautiful and we grow stronger with pain. It exposes the reader to this idea before they start reading the book. For myself, this foreign idea of pain being beautiful roots from our admiration for strength and how strength gets us to succeed. So essentially, this foreign idea that pain is beautiful really just roots from our appreciation and glorification of being strong both mentally and physically.
Okay, Kevin. Third question. In your book, there is a character that is widowed by his wife, and all he seems to have left of her is a diary. Now, in this diary, she writes down all of the love notes that her husband would leave on the fridge every morning. The diary travels through multiple hands and, more importantly, their lives. Would you explain the importance of the traveling diary to the overall message of the book?
Of course. The traveling diary idea is incorporated into the book to create a connection between all these different characters throughout the book that experience the so familiar pain, but all with their own lives and individual sources. The diary sparks the empathy for the husband's loss of his wife, who cared for him so much. It exposes this heart-wrenching pain that all of the recipients of the diary feel from the emotion in the diary. Pacification is also apparent with the characters that have the diary at some point. It provides a sense that they are not alone in their pain, and this fact comforts them, whether or not it may seem morally correct.
Now, how is the diary subject of love intended to develop and relate to the central theme that beauty is exposed in pain?
I intended the diary to expose one of the worst types of pain, the pain that comes with the death of a loved one. This diary reveals how much love the man had for his wife and vice versa. He loved her enough to write her a love note every day and put it on the fridge, and she showed her love through writing down his words from the fridge every day. For example, he would put a little thing that he liked about her on the fridge, like that he loved the way that she put her hair up in the morning. The other characters can feel pain and suffering from both themselves and the man as well. This, in addition to the story of the diary, provides the interconnection and comfort that we all crave when we are in pain. That essentially is what the topic of love is there for in the diary, to take the strongest type of pain and have it passed around from person to person in order to connect them. It creates a relationship between all of these people who have held the diary, and it exposes how everyone experiences their own unique difficulties in life.
Now, Kevin, before we get on to the last question, I would just like to tell you how thankful I am that you are on this show today. It is such an honor to be sitting next to someone who has written a book. So nice of you to come down to the show today, and I really hope that this interview speaks to a lot of people out there and anybody who has read The Illumination.
Me too.
We will be taking phone calls at the end of the interview to ask Kevin your own personal questions.
I would be happy to answer any questions that anyone has about my book. There's a lot of questions about the originality of the book and how I came up with the idea of the Illumination. And I just
why
really
don't
would like
you tell us about that? The Illumination. Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, I think that my idea of the Illumination really sprouted from, pain that I have gone through myself. I do think that pain is beautiful because it really brings out what our strength and how much we can be put through in our lives and how much strain our body can go through, both mentally and physically.
Okay. So last question. Some might argue that with this book topic of the Illumination, you are unnecessarily glorifying topics of pain, such as death and self-mutilation, with a relatively calm tone. How do you feel about this accusation, and how can you defend that your message is in fact a positive one and not meant to glorify anything?
Well, of course, everyone's going to have their own opinions and everyone's going to put them out there on my book. I absolutely notice the concerns and issues that the Illumination raises, but I also believe that if people read the book and understand the beauty and community that is involuntarily brought along by pain, that they too will see that it is not a very controversial topic at all. Yes, the topics are a bit gory and sometimes disturbing, but they are in turn the best to expose this beautiful strength brought along by the pain that ourselves and the characters in my book are put through. I made this note before, that strength is the beauty in pain, and it is something revealed through a lot of the characters in the book. For example, the photographer turns pain that he sees into art in the form of taking photos. Throughout the book, these characters are brought together and comforted by mutual pain brought by the topics of discussion. It is not the pain-causing events that are beautiful, but more the strength that we use to get through our pain that is beautiful. And that is something that those reading my book need to account for.
Kevin, I agree entirely. I think I read the book, I thought it was beautiful and beautifully written, and again, thank you so much for being on air today, and I hope that this is a message that gets out to everybody out there. And about 30 seconds, we'll start taking phone calls from the audience.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. It was a delight.
It was indeed a delight to
All
be
right.
on here.